Okay, thank you very much. It's a great pleasure to come and speak to techies. Some of you are users, but many techies here on a subject which is a bit boring, you know. I always tell people that insurance is one of those financial services that got forgotten. That is why you require a sales agent to come and drum it under your throat. Say, kulai. Yeah? And most of you go to a bank and you bank your money voluntarily. A bank does not come and put it under your throat. So that's why we say we are all a little old-fashioned. And an old-fashioned industry and artificial intelligence usually tend to be a mismatch. And so my conversation today is about how do you bring in a very old-fashioned industry into the 22nd century, so to speak. So artificial intelligence, as it says, is intelligence which is artificial. Will it reach where God, the natural intelligence is? I doubt. Because there's a limit to which human beings can create another human being. I have seen some models behind here. You can see that we try to copy God, even in the shapes of our machines. And we need to be a bit more creative. Who said a human being cannot create something slightly different? God created those with round heads. Those of you creating artificial intelligence things, why don't you create one with a square head? Let's see how it works, okay? So it is important that we appreciate that artificial intelligence is here with us and is going to be accelerated by many things. One of the things that will accelerate, one is Internet of Things. The fact that each item will have a chip. The seat you sit on, the water you drink, even yourself, you'll have a chip. And all these gadgets will be communicating. Now, to facilitate all that is 5G. Now, 5G technology, I know some of you are used to 4G now, and you think, oh, that's not too bad, internet speed. But 5G will be instant. You press a button, and it's instant. That changes the rules of the game because then adaptability will move much faster because it is easier to access, because the technology is pretty different from 4G. So with that then, it's easy then to manipulate machines to mimic what human beings do. And that is the era now which we are moving to from, say, 2020 forward. By around 2050, a lot of the things we do as human beings will be machine controlled, okay? And possibly come very close to human intelligence. The question is, what will be the difference between natural intelligence and human intelligence? Is possibly the difference is a soul. Probably, I'm not so sure whether human beings will reach that stage where they can create a soul. I know some of you are deeply religious here. You probably might want to tell us how God creates a soul. So probably he creates a body, and then he blows a mare, and then says the soul has now been created. Probably we reach that stage, then we could say, yeah. Artificial intelligence is closer to natural intelligence. So let's see then what happens. So we are talking about technology, which has been with us for a long time. Remember, artificial intelligence has been talked about for a very long time. There are people who had seen it coming, and a lot of it was the work of people like Albert Einstein, the way they had predicted technology coming based on what they had discovered at the time. So over time, it has acquired different names, but it all goes back to the original thinking, which is programming machines to mimic human intelligence, so that then some things which are fairly routine can be done, and then, of course, later on, the machine can then learn, okay? Because that was the learning part, which was missing. And then now, deep learning, which is now the neural networks, so that then yesterday's experience can be built into tomorrow's predictability. We can predict tomorrow because we learned, okay, in the same way human beings do, okay? So a lot of things, so it's not something new. I know sometimes if you read in literature, people talk about artificial intelligence as if it's something new. It has been with us for a very long time, more than 50 years. the thought process and what can machines do to. So in terms of then impact on insurance, I've brought three things. One is we can then use machines to serve customers and assist customers. And I will give you an example of what we have done in Jubilee to enhance customer experience, and then we learn your experience, and then we can predict what you do. We can also do pricing based on your behavior. With IoT and 5G, we will predict a lot of things about you. I will know which matatu you drove, whether the driver was mlevi, then I can increase your price. So if you enter a matatu and the price goes up, then you know Jubilee knows something about that matatu already through IoT, and so therefore you jump out and reduce your risk and enter another one. That's the future. Insurance on the go. So we are moving towards risk pricing. In the banking industry, most of them have now credit scores, but they have not moved the next stage, which is the learning part, which is now trying to predict your finance needs. You see, banks, for example, will go in future whereby you don't need to apply for a loan. They predict your needs and actually offer those loans before you ask for it. Then you'll be asked, how did you know? So similarly in insurance, I should be able to now learn your risks, and I can price those risks and make offers for you. So then when you come to a hotel like this, you will receive an SMS from Jubilee Insurance saying you have now entered Kempinski. Kempinski is a low-risk area, and so therefore you can pay your premium for your stay in that building for half a day, and then it says, okay, can you pay 100 shillings? That will be the risk premium. If a doozy situation happens, what happens? Of course, the risk is automated, so I should be able to pay the claim automatically because already it will be known, it will be assessed. A loss adjuster will be automatic, a machine can do it, and we pay the claim automatically because we knew there was a terrorist situation that is already documented. The police already know it. That we'll get from the police records automatically, and then we process a claim so that then if you have reached home and you are traumatized and the risk has materialized, then we settle the claim before you ask. That's really the impact of machine learning in trying to actually do the behavioral policy pricing and then claim settlement. All these things can be done by machines, okay? So that then, as human beings, you might want to ask, so what are we going to do when machines take over much of what we do? We will now spend our time elsewhere. For those of you who are a little older, who had matured by the 80s, people used to ask, oh, typewriters are going to be phased out by computers. What are secretaries going to do? Now, 30 years later, what have secretaries done? They learned new skills and moved on, isn't it? So you don't need a secretary. But more jobs have been created. Exactly that's what artificial intelligence is going to do. It's going to reconfigure what you do normal as a human being, and you move on. So you'll take more holidays. A machine can do many things that you do and earn new income, so then you can go to Diani and enjoy Africa's best beach. Things like those. Okay? Remember, you'll still live on this planet only once. I don't think artificial intelligence will reach that point where another life will be created for you. So, kubali tu, only one life. So therefore, what have we done as Jubilee? How many of you have interacted with Julie? 1, 2. This is not an artificial intelligence conference then. This is the first chatbot we have in East Africa in the insurance industry. If you go to our website, you will meet Julie. And Julie now will direct you in doing everything. This is still level 1. We are all going to build a learning system to it so that then when you now visit a second time, they will say, oh, hello, Erastus. Welcome back again. We noticed the other time you were here and you were looking for 1, 2, 3, and so therefore you didn't get it. Now I have that information for you. Are you still interested? Then a conversation begins between you and Julie. No call center. So you can now free human beings to go and do those things which human beings are good at. And so therefore machines do your job. So can you visit our website and meet Julie? Those of you who are here and technology savvy, can you go to jubileeinsurance.com and meet Julie? This is reality now. And then probably Julie will guide you to get some insurance policy. What does it mean, therefore? If you can combine then artificial intelligence and machine learning, okay, we can do many things that human beings find boring. You know, that insurance agent which pushes things down your throat, that will become history. You will now meet Julie, who will now have a conversation with you. We hope to take Julie to the level where Siri is. Those of you who have iPhones, you know, or whatever, Android. I don't know, I never use Android, so I'm not so sure what it uses. Okay? Hey, what do I say? Okay? So therefore, learning is part of that artificial intelligence process using neural network. Neural networks then is the code that then inbuilds the learning process. What you did yesterday is part of your conversation with the machine, and it records what you did, and so therefore is able to discern patterns for predictability. Okay, patterns for predictability. So therefore, efficient and lean underwriting. So those one can be done by machines efficiently, quickly. You get a quote, you settle your payment, and then Julie will come and tell you, thank you very much, you're paid, you have this cover, should you have any problem, give me a call, okay? So, also risk evaluation, and then, of course, a lot of things which are boring will be done by machines. And that is where we are going as Jubilee Insurance, and you will see a lot of action in 1 year or so. Okay, so customer interaction then, as I told you, insurance industry is a bit archaic and a little old-fashioned. So since human beings don't like doing those things, we will now put machines to do them. And Julie is well positioned to do that. So I'm sure most of you will interact with Julie today, and you will probably that. So therefore, claim settlement, as I told you, that is where we are going, and we'll inbuild a lot of intelligence so that then what is the challenge with claims management in Kenya today is fraud. Okay, people make false claims, and I mean, so pervasive. That is why insurance penetration in Kenya is moving down. It was 3%. Now, probably around 5 years ago, it was 3%. Now it's at 2.71 and falling. Why is it that people don't like insurance? The first thing most of you think is insurance is for conmen. Okay? And then how do you insure? We always debate in our office, how do people then insure? There are two ways most of you insure. The first one is through the pastor. Okay? But you see, remember the pastor is afterlife. So when you go to church and pay the tithe, you're actually insuring something you are not so sure. So part of my challenge going forward is to go and tell the pastor where, you know, most of you pay 10%. So I tell him, where chukua 5% for thereafter, lakini nipatie 5% for now. The second one is Arambe. This thing called Arambe is a Kenyan thing. It's even in our coat of arms, Arambe. Because you see, somebody say, why would I pay into a pool where, you know, you are in the convent? So you form a WhatsApp group. There's M-Pesa, online payment. If one of you is hit, you just circulate and say, lipa, 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 lipa. Everybody is sorted. So my greatest challenge as Jubilee, because we are the largest insurer in the region, is no longer an insurance company. It's the pastor and Arambe. And I'm going to work. So Julie is going to help me learn, you know, the patterns. You know, somebody will, Julie will tell me, you have been bereaved. And I will ask Julie, so if this guy was bereaved and he had no insurance, how did he settle his bills? Then I will know. Then now I can make an offer and say, I'm the better option. We are learning you. Okay? So, now there are several levels of automation. Okay? In the insurance industry, when it comes to then AI, there's level 0. That's where we are today. Okay? People are, powered by insurance administration. A lot of it is manual files. You go to many insurance offices, there are tons and tons of files. Okay? Now, some have gone to level 1, which is actually just a simple MIS, where you enter into a computer. Most of the records are on a spreadsheet, nothing complicated. Okay? And then now, a better MIS is probably level 2. Okay? And then now, automating contracts, which is, remember, every insurance policy is a contract by law. Okay? Of course, when you give this to lawyers, like the ones who are here before me, they will give you a 10, 20-page contract. I'm hoping artificial intelligence will give me half a page, okay? And then say, the rest is all sorted out. We know, but a lot of insurance contract ni kizungu mingi, And then, of course, a lot of automation. We hope that then level 4 and 5, that's where now artificial intelligence will come in a big way. So then things run themselves with little human intervention. We look forward probably in the next 3 to 5 years to have moved a lot of our activities to level 4. And then the ultimate, of course, is level 5, where we require little human intervention. For example, I see in the next, say, by around 2025, most of you, by 2025, if you still own a car, you will be old-fashioned. You don't have to own a car, because what you are just looking for is a means of transport to move you from point A to point B. By that time, we will be dealing with driverless transport systems. So all you just need to do, the way you summon Uber now, IoT will allow you to know. You will see the map. And then you can pull people and say, you can tell, for example, this vehicle is moving from, if you live in Kilimani, to town. So you'll know which vehicle is going to town. You pull, you enter in, it is driverless, it knows where it's going. And then when you enter that vehicle, which is driverless, okay, Jubilee Insurance will know you have entered that, and then it gives you then insurance on the go. So it now gives you insurance. When you jump out, the insurance expires. And the contract will have already been recorded in our database, which is in cloud. So I'll be sitting there managing a machine. So I look forward, and we are moving there, where Jubilee Insurance will not be an insurance company, but will be a digital company selling insurance. So the transition then will happen in a way that we become now just a digital platform selling insurance, and we'll add other things, other services, whatever services will be required by human beings at that time. So that is the way we are looking at it and the level of automation. So I invite you then to Julie, okay? Engage, get to know. We are still at the lower levels, okay? It's a chatbot, but we now want to build, machine learning around it. So then it can predict what you want, and possibly in another year or so, we should be able to give each customer a risk score based on the learning. Okay, our roadmap then, how we see Julie and whatever name we'll call them along the way. Okay, you will see now by around 2030, we should be at level 5. Around 2030, level 5. So you have seen our journey. Okay, next year or so, level 1 and 2 will be complete. And then another 2022 there, we'll reach level 4. Level 5, initial stages. And then claim settlement and behavioral pricing will be around 2030. And a lot of you will, as I said, you will be IoT compliant. I look forward to you having a microchip somewhere under your skin. You will not need a telephone. The telephone will be dead. And if you have a telephone by that time, you will be like Vasco da Gama. And we'll be asking you, why are you carrying a gadget? Today's world is about an embedded chip, and everything has a chip, and all these things will be communicating, and our job is just to manage that data about you and give you a behavioral score, which then can, from that behavioral score, we have your risk rating, and from your risk rating, we give you an insurance policy. So insurance will be sold to those, the cheapest insurance will be sold to those who have the lowest risk. And high risk guys, you'll pay a higher premium, and then if you meet the pastor, you'll be telling the pastor, my risk score is low, so therefore, my insurance for the next life has to be also cheaper. Asante sana. Thank you.